Hey folks! Today we're just going to do a casual get ready with me because I wanted to talk a little bit about my apartment. If you hadn't noticed, everything behind me is off the wall except for like one shelf. I have moved a good portion of my things over to my new place, so probably film maybe a couple more videos in this room. I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. I just wanted to kind of talk about this year, the last 5 years, a little bit in retrospect, because I've been thinking about it a lot the last week, because for me, moving is a very emotional thing, because I've only moved like a handful of times in my life. Like I can, like less than one hand. Like I lived at one house until I was 3, which I don't really remember. And then we moved to the house I grew up in, and I lived there until I was 25. And then I moved to the city 6 years ago. And since then I have moved 3 times. So it's been a whirlwind of a time. Let's just put some makeup on. I don't exactly know what I'm going to do with my face. It's like almost 2 a.m, but my neighbors were being very loud earlier, and I didn't really have the mental capacity or the energy to film. And go through that. let me pour one out for the homies. There we go. Did I bring all my makeup over there? I think the only eyeshadow palette I have is this. Still, I think I put everything away in a box. I have the Cool Nudes from Midas. This, I think, is the only palette I still have here. I think I put everything in a box and brought it over to the new house. So that's what we're going with today. So yeah, let's just have like a chill heart to heart, moving. Whew. Josh and I are moving in together for the first time, and we've been dating for, it'll be 5 years in May. So it's very exciting. I'm super, super excited, and I don't want anybody to think that I'm like not so happy and extremely excited for the next step is, but it's still very overwhelming for me usually, because thinking about, I don't know, the last 5 years specifically, before I moved here, I had lived in a couple of other living situations that weren't necessarily that great. I lived in a house with 4 other people when I first moved to the city, and it was fine. Like, I ended up becoming pretty good friends with one of my roommates, and we ended up moving together to the next place we ended up living in with some other people that we didn't know. But the first place I lived was the first place I had lived out on my own. And it was a learning experience. It was a good 6 months of just kind of coming into my own in the city. I was still working retail, and I was blossoming, you could say that. The first 6 months of me living here they started to get a little bit messy, in like not necessarily a bad way, but like messy nonetheless. And in also those first 6 months, I made a bunch of new friends. I became very, very close with a lot of people here in the city that I still call some of my like very good friends here. And it was the beginning of like me, I feel like, finally coming into my adulthood, because before that, living at home, I'd had jobs working retail. I'd had jobs. I worked at a consignment store for baby clothes. I worked at Petco washing dogs. And I lived in this very small town my whole life until then. And so I was like finally getting out into the big city, as big as Seattle was 6 years ago. So much bigger now. After 6 months, my friend Sarah, who had literally just moved to the city when we first all moved in together. We found a place. She and I found a place with 2 other people who she found on Facebook, and it ended up being one of the most toxic situations I've ever found myself in. Not Sarah. Sarah was great. And we just had one particular roommate that I sincerely hope has found the help that she needs, because in retrospect and hindsight, she desperately needed to have a better situation. She desperately needed support that we were not equipped to give. It was just all around bad situation for everyone involved. But it was something that I could not wait to get out of. I'll just say that. And during those 6 months, I moved twice in 1 year. During those 6 months, I was barely home. During those 6 months, I spent most of my time actually not at home, Most of my time was at my friends' houses, the friends who I had made earlier that year. Again, a messy summer. Messy, I wouldn't say like my promiscuous summer because there was only just like one person, but like, it was messy, you know. I never really had a messy college life because I lived at home and I worked on the newspaper. So I was like, I did not have a rowdy, rambunctious college life at all. So I pretty much lived that out when I was 25. But after those 6 months, I found where I currently am living, and I lived here for 5 years. This was truly the first time I lived by myself, and it ended up being kind of like a very safe space for me after what was a very, very toxic situation for myself. It ended up being like just exactly what I needed after that. What was otherwise, I don't want to say like a traumatic 6 months, but just a draining and exhausting 6 months. Just very, very exhausting. All around. Exhausting. I was never home. Looking back on like videos from that period, I had lost a lot of weight because I was like not at home eating. Like I was just like, I was walking so much. I was out and about so much and just like not eating really because I wasn't home. But it was just, it was a time. It was a time that I learned a lot from. A lot. But it made me finding this place that much more important, and it made this place so much more like safe and homey for me because as of right now, this is the place I've lived in the longest besides where I grew up. Like I lived in my hometown at my parents' house in the house I grew up in for 22 years, and then this place I lived in for 5. And packing everything up, putting everything away, cleaning off the walls, deciding what to get rid of has been draining, I think, just like emotionally exhausting because I'm not good at it. I'm not good at moving. I don't like moving. I despise moving. I despise having to take all of the things that I've made into my home and moving it into another place. Don't get me wrong. I'm so excited to like completely make this new house like a home. Like we got a house that we're renting. So I'm very excited. I'm gonna have my own beauty room and I have my own space that I can film in. And then we're gonna have like a gaming den. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be awesome. I'm very excited. I'm very excited to show y'all furniture that we're getting. I'm finding furniture shopping is especially annoying because I have to say I've never purchased a piece of new furniture in my life except for like some wall shelving. But like all of the furniture I have is either hand-me-downs, secondhand, or just like, yeah, either bought from a thrift store. My mother's found it at an estate sale, handed down from grandparents. Like my dresser is 100 years old and it's from my like great grandfather or something. So everything I own is old as shit. And I don't know how expensive new furniture is. So like looking at couches and things, I'm like, why are things so expensive? And why is every new bed like an upholstered bed frame? What? I hate this. Shopping for furniture is annoying because usually I just like inherit furniture. Like finding things, I'm like, why is everything new ugly? I'm sorry. So I plan on doing like a furniture, like window shopping video, going through just like weird things that I found, because then my dad told me about something called OfferUp the other day and now I just haven't stopped looking at it and I'm like, ooh, I want this and I want this and I want this and I want this vanity. I have a whole plan for my room, my beauty room, and I'm excited to furnish my house. But it's exhausting. Like moving everything physically is exhausting because especially in the last year, I've become very sedentary. Like there hasn't been activities to do. Like I've walked sometimes, but when it gets cold and wet out here in Seattle, it's very just normally when it's cold and wet, we can go to shows and be inside and everybody just huddles up and gets sweaty together. But now it's just like you're stuck in your own house when it's cold and dark and wet and gray outside. I've never really had seasonal affective disorder before this year, but I feel like I actually have developed seasonal affective disorder this year. What the fuck? What I've noticed, especially in this last year, in comparison to the last 5, I had kind of reached peak, well-adjusted, balanced, introvert, extrovert Abigail. before 2020. Like, I had reached a point where I was like really confident in myself. I have kind of here and there cases of imposter syndrome when it comes to certain things. So I had kind of gotten over a lot of that, and I had gotten to a place where I was feeling really good about everything, about YouTube, about photography, about everything, about like my relationship, and I still feel we're great. We're awesome. But like everything else was going good. And then 2020 happened, and I feel like I have reverted back to pre-Seattle me, where I am bad at keeping up with people, and bad at responding to text messages, and I'm just bad at being attentive and being present. And like, I've gotten to the point where I'm like, I don't like answering the phone. I don't like talking on the phone anymore, because that's all I've gotten to do for the last year. Like, I hate getting phone calls now. Many of my friends, much of what we do is just be around each other usually. Like, our friendship dynamic is not necessarily like talking to each other on the phone all the time or like texting all the time. It's like we physically need to be in spaces together. I used to be incredibly introverted. The most introvert, like very uncomfortable in crowds, very uncomfortable with small talk, and just not good at interacting with strangers. And granted, I'm still not great at it, but like, I'd gotten to a point where I could function. I could function at shows where I didn't know anybody, and I could just make small talk about camera things, talk about whatever. And all of that kind of external human interaction is gone now. I was talking to Josh the other day about how up until this year, like, his day-to-day life didn't change all that much with quarantine and with COVID. Like, it's not like he went to shows all the time like I did, and kind of a lot of his hobbies existed online. Like, he played video games regularly when I really didn't play video games, and he didn't have as big of a group of friends as I do that go out and do just random shit all the time. And so his day-to-day goings on didn't change all that much. I got to the point where I really felt like I had a very vibrant social life and a very like tight group of friends that like added so much to my life that it's just changed. Like, in the blink of an eye, it was just gone. And that's been really difficult for me to grapple with, because I feel like I've taken so many steps back in the last year, and I think that's been incredibly evident recently when dealing with just moving, because I've been talking on the phone with my mom a lot, and talking on the phone with my sister a lot more, and talking on the phone with Josh even more than normal. And I'm just like, I don't like talking on the phone anymore. I don't like talking on the phone. I feel very unmotivated to actually like talk to people, feel very unmotivated to actually do much of anything. Like, everything is so overwhelming right now. Like, I'll look at the pile of things that I need to pack up, and instead of doing that, I'm like, I'm just gonna watch fucking season 1 of Blue Exorcist again in one night. Like, it's been weird. It's been very weird trying to recognize myself, because me a year ago and me now, I don't recognize myself sometimes, where I'm like, all of my social life these days is all online. And like, I'm incredibly thankful for the community of people that I have found myself in here on YouTube, whether it's a community, the people who watch me, all of y'all, or my like peers, my colleagues, like my group chat. I literally would not have been able to handle this last year if it weren't for Lacey, Nisa, Jordan, and Hannah. I would have just completely shut in on myself and just felt so isolated. Because, I mean, everybody's feeling so isolated now, and it's just everything about my day-to-day life besides YouTube changed. I went months without seeing my boyfriend because we needed to stay quarantined apart, and I'd gotten to a point where I was like much more of an affectionate person with my friends. We would just like all plop down in a pile of like 4 people in a love sack, and just very little boundaries. It was like August of 2019. I was in Reno on a bachelorette weekend where like 9 of us girls got into a freaking hot tub topless. Like, that was August of 2019. August of 2020, the sky was on fire. We couldn't go outside and we couldn't go anywhere else. I was reading an article the other day about, was it weak ties? Kind of what they were kind of referring to it as, like the outer circle of your day-to-day acquaintances and friendships, how like those are just gone. Close friends and family have been like the most important thing to kind of keep in contact with, but the other smaller, more informal relationships that we have in our lives have just been deemed non-existent this last year. Normally, I would be going to shows and making small talk with other photographers and talking to bartenders and talking to other people at the front of the stage and talking to bands and like talking to my friends. And the only sort of like external outer circle of people that I see besides my sister, besides my coworkers, are like drive-through employees at coffee shops, grocery store clerks, and like cashiers at weed shops. Like, those are the only people that I'm like interacting with on any sort of semi-regular basis, besides my sister and my boyfriend. It's the fucking hard thing to think about. Just like thinking about everything. Like, everything has changed. And I think that's what's made moving especially that much harder, because I've just had to like look at the last 5 years in relation to the last year and how much life has happened in this apartment, how much stuff has changed. Like, when I first moved in here, I had just quit my jobs at the mall. I was making some weird choices with my heart at the time. Weird choices. Very weird choices. Looking back on, like, what was I doing? I don't know. It was the year of the election. Like, pre-Trump was when I moved in here. I lived through the entire Trump administration in this apartment. And that's just, like, when I think about, like, the different eras of my life, I kind of compartmentalize them into, like, the times, like, where I lived somewhere. A little bit different when I was a kid because I lived the same place until I was 25. I look at the first 6 months that I lived here and I'm like, okay, this was this era. The second 6 months, okay, there was this era. And then the next 5 years, whoa boy. I first moved in here. I was paying for it all by myself. And then my friend Sean moved in with me like 4 months later. And then he lived here for 7 months. And then he moved out. And then I lived here for 2 years by myself before my sister moved in. And now we're both going to get our own places. And just so much has happened here. Like, all of my growth on YouTube has happened in this apartment. You could say I like fell in love in this apartment, but like Josh never lived here. But like during the time I lived here, fell in love. Like, it's dumb how much I've cried about this for the last week. Like, 2 different times within like 3 days. I had just like a good sad for like 20 minutes where I was like just looking around my living room, very little furniture, and just getting thrown back to when I first moved in and realizing how much I've grown in the last 5 years, but then how much of that growth kind of got lost in the last year. So it's heavy and it's weird and I don't like it. Like, I don't like being this attached to apartments. Like, I'm renting. Like, I don't like being this attached to here. It's annoying, honestly. I'm like, damn it, why do I have to be so sad? I'm just so fucking excited. I just need to find a bed and a couch. Why are couches so expensive? For crying out loud, honestly. Couches are so expensive. It's like stupid how expensive they are. I feel like I want to put like a little bit of eyeliner. Not like a wing, but just like a little baby guy. Like, I've literally tried to film this video for the last 4 days, but I couldn't do it. It was like one night I was just exhausted after moving a bunch of stuff. Another night I was tired after work. Another night I was crying. And then tonight, Josh and I were looking at furniture, and then my neighbors made a lot of noise, and I'm just like, well, that's not happening again. Okay. Sometimes you just have to film at 2 a.m. I have so many holes to fill in the wall. Oh my god. So many holes to fill in my walls. Holy shit. I am really liking this skin glazing highlight from Nabla. It's very nice. It's very pretty. So yeah, did this video have any particular sort of like point? Not really, to be honest. I just kind of wanted to talk because I haven't really talked to y'all in a little bit, and I needed to kind of document the lack of things behind me. Josh had suggested doing like a moving vlog. That's not happening. That is a nightmare to think about because it's already hard enough to move, but having to think to film it, nope, not happening. Once we get all of our furniture in, I do plan on doing some sort of like, I don't know about like a house tour, but like a kind of furnishing my own house with all mostly secondhand items, like a furniture haul of sorts. My mascara got on my face. Okay, well, I have no lipsticks here. What do I have? No, not using this. Oh no, I have this mented thing. I have my mented lip gloss. It's not the glossiest gloss, but it has like a kind of similar to like the NYX soft matte lip creams. That's what it reminds me of. Not like a gloss, but more of a lip tint. And I got these earrings from Splendor & Stone. They're so pretty. I love them. So pretty. Yeah, that's kind of really all I wanted to talk about. I think I plan on doing maybe like a sappy montage of this last 5 years in this apartment. That could be fun and sappy because I am a sap. Because the last time when my parents sold their house, I did that with their house. I just like took a bunch of footage of my childhood home and like made a little goodbye house video because I am a fucking sap. Yeah, I'll probably like edit together something because I've been through many hair colors, many eras, many hardships, many high points. Just a lot I've been through in this apartment, and it's weird. Moving, like it's just moving is weird and I don't like it. I like where I'm moving and I like the reason for moving. Like I'm very excited that Josh and I are getting our own place, but like it's just weird to make somewhere your home and then just leaving. Because I'm not good at it. Like, we didn't move, like, at all when I was a kid. After I was old enough to know what the hell was happening, we never moved until I was 25. So it's been just a lot, which is why I haven't posted anything for the last week, just because I've been just exhausted, just so tired. And that just compounded with like everything that's happened this year so far. Like, God, we're a month into 2021 and everything that's happened already. Holy shit. Like, so much has already happened. There's so much even that's happened in like YouTube world that I haven't even talked about. There's definitely things that I want to talk about. I've just had no time to do it. Like, more influencers are being stupid and partying, and Patrick Starr apparently is tacky as hell, and Jeff Bezos stepped down as the CEO of Amazon, and the stock market, what the hell was that? And you know, like uploads this month are just going to be very sporadic. I will not have a regular upload schedule this month. I just letting you know that right now. There's not going to be like regular days that I actually upload. It'll be a surprise when I upload. It'll be a nice, pleasant surprise. I will have an anti-haul up. That will be... I'll have my regular videos that I normally do, but I don't know how many other videos I will be doing. Probably stream a couple more times before we move my computer and everything else out of the apartment, because I still have my internet here and I'm still streaming on Twitch. We're really close to 1,000 followers on Twitch, by the way, which is super cool and exciting. So if you like The Sims and games, I would greatly appreciate it if you wanted to follow me there on Twitch. That'd be super cool and fun, because Josh and I will have like a full-on like gamer den streaming room in the basement of our house, and we're very excited about it. I just have to find an L-shaped desk and a second monitor. Yeah, just a big ol' sap. I'm just a big ol' sap. And I'm surprised, honestly, that I made it through this video without crying, but I think it's because I'm tired and because I've cried twice about the same thing in the last 5 days, and I think I got all of it out. So I'm kind of glad that I waited until now so that I wasn't crying on camera just about moving, because It's not that big a deal realistically. It's just, for me especially, it's just difficult. I don't like it. And especially dealing with moving during a pandemic. Like finding furniture. Like you can't like go to a store easily and like look at furniture and like try out mattresses. It's like, what kind of mattress do we get? I don't know. Like, I can sleep in a chair sitting up with the lights on. I can sleep in any situation. So buying a bed is very weird because I'm not picky. So I'm like, what do we even need? Like, I don't know. I literally don't know what to buy. Everything I own is old as shit. So I have no clue what I'm doing. That's all I wanted to say really in today's video. I just wanted to kind of update y'all with what's happening and how the move is going. It's going. It's frustrating, but that's just because I'm a big baby when it comes to this stuff. I'm gonna have today's song of the day be Grinning Heart of Darkness from Ravenna Woods because I was driving into the city the other day after meeting my sister. I was driving back into the city and my YouTube autoplay came on, and Ravenna Woods are friends of mine. I was just driving into the city looking at the skyline, and it was really nice out that day. It was like kind of cloudy, but like a nice cloudy, and I just lost it. Like I lost it. I just started crying in my car. We're moving out of the city. Like we're not going to be in Seattle anymore. We're not going very far. I grew up so much here, and now I'm not going very far. I don't know why I think about this so much and I make this so much more of a big deal than it actually is, but like I'm a very sentimental person. Like I am to a fault. Like I'm annoyingly sentimental. I'll look at Facebook memories and I'm just like, and then sometimes I'll look at Facebook memories and I'm like, please don't remind me of that. Stop. You know, sometimes when you get those memories, you're like, I wish I didn't have to remember that. So stop showing it to me every year. Thanks, Facebook. So yeah, today's song of the day is Grinning Heart of Darkness from Ravenna Woods. The music video will be linked in the description down below. Some of the video in it I took. I love those guys like so much. So yeah, go listen to their shit. Go listen to their stuff. They're my faves. Yeah, I hope you all are staying healthy, staying inside, staying sane, staying okay. Coming up on a year of quarantine is like very surreal because like looking back at like a year ago when all of us were like, oh, it's gonna be like 3 weeks, maybe a month, we're gonna be like shut down, it'll be fine. Like there isn't really much of an end in sight at this point. Like the only sort of end in sight is everybody getting vaccinated, but who knows if that's gonna happen in a timely manner because the country still sucks. Things are still bad. Please stay home, wash your hands, wear your masks, double mask up if you can now, because there are new, more contagious kind of variants. If you don't have like a double layer mask with like a filter, please double up if you can. Please just be as safe as possible because there's still a lot of really shitty people out there who are spreading misinformation. If you have not seen D'Angelo Wallace's Influencer 19 video, it's long and heavy and hard to watch, but it's necessary, I think, for a lot of people. And I was really glad that D'Angelo called out literally everybody, like everyone from the Jake Pauls and the Bryce Halls to the Dr. Mikes. Because Dr. Mike also deserved to get called out for it because he was a giant fucking hypocrite for going on a boat party in Miami. That's a whole other thing that I'm not really going to get into because you should just go watch D'Angelo's video because it's perfect and awesome and we do not deserve D'Angelo. We do not deserve him. He is too good for us. Links to things will be down in the description down below. And I'll see you when I see you. It'll probably be in this room again, at least one more time. And then I don't know. Okay, thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you all next time. Bye.